Okay, welcome to another edition of the Black Sports Insiders. We have the legendary figures in sports and entertainment with us as always. But today I have my co-host, Mr. Kyle Anthony. How you doing,
everybody?
Sir?
Hey, I'm doing great. Happy to be here.
All right. But we have a true insider in the National Basketball Association. You know, he gives you the scoop on all the things that's going on inside the National Basketball Association, what we know as the NBA, but he also has great insight in what's happening in sports, period. It's none other than Brandon Scoop Robinson. What's going on, Scoop B?
Man, I'm doing good. How you feeling?
Good to see you as always, man. And it's been a year since we had a chance to chop it up.
Yeah, probably talking about the Pelicans.
Yeah. Well, okay. We'll talk about that later. But welcome to the show, man. I just wanted to be able to get you on because I know you just had a documentary back in April that you put out about the Bulls, right?
Yes.
And also you had some very interesting inside information about what's happening with Mr. LeBron James and the going-ons and going-outs within, is he going to be in LA or not, and things to that nature. But I wanted you to just kind of share with some of our followers what's happening in the National Basketball Association at this time.
Well, that's a wide scope. What's going on in the NBA?
What's the hottest? How about that?
I mean, I think the LeBron conversation is still, a top topic of interest, especially because, the Lakers have gotten better, adding Marcus Smart to the fold for one. I think for defensive purposes, will definitely benefit them alongside Luka Doncic. As well as DeAndre Ayton. And so I know there's been a lot of talk about, LeBron not reaching out to both of those gentlemen. And just from my understanding, he's on vacation.
Okay.
He did make an appearance in Vegas during Summer League, and it was to watch his son. But, because his son is his teammate and also his son, there was, definitely fanfare there. And, that kind of aligns with, my reporting a couple of weeks ago, which, discussed the fact that there are 4 teams who have some sort of interest in LeBron, whether that be the Dallas Mavericks, which I've been I actually reported that on June 30th, and it kind of took on a life of its own. But in the writing that I did over at my blog at scoopb.com, we discussed, or rather, I wrote that Kyrie and LeBron did have a conversation back in 2023, and Kyrie was actively trying to get LeBron to consider joining the Dallas Mavericks. And LeBron closed that conversation with Kyrie Irving and told him, I'll think about it. And, it's 2 years later, and, that Dallas Mavericks talk is still talk. I did speak with someone in the know on LeBron's side. And, 2 years ago when we talked about it, and then they said that, that LeBron is not coming to Dallas and leaving money on the table. There would be no buyout. And, Kyrie is welcome to come to the Lakers. And, that was a conversation 3 years ago as far as Kyrie and the Lakers that didn't materialize because he didn't want to go there. But as it relates to current day Lakers, there is a shift going on in Los Angeles. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that LeBron is on the last year of his deal. And the fact that the team is seemingly building in a direction for Luka moving forward. LeBron is kind of in a situation that Kobe was in when he was towards the end of his career playing for the Lakers post Achilles, except LeBron hasn't had a significant injury. And they still are competitive in the Western Conference. I don't look at the Lakers on the same level as I do the Oklahoma City Thunder or even the Houston Rockets. I just think they're a competitive team, but I look at them more as a 5th or 6th seed than I do a top 3 team in the West.
Right. Am I mistaken by reading that the new ownership that's coming in, the owner said he doesn't want any, a way to paraphrase it here, any more soft guys to be a part of that team? Was that correct, or was that just somebody's fantasy that they put out there?
That aligns more with the fantasy, but I do know that the Lakers are not looking to take on. They're looking to take on shorter deals if they're looking to bring on, any level of contracts via trade. So I know that is something that is quite factual. But as far as soft guys, I've not heard anything from anyone of note that would.
Will substantiate that.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Okay.
Had
Good.
my afternoon coffee, but yes, essentially that is what I am saying. I haven't heard anything substantiable that would state that is their level of thinking.
Okay, excellent. So you brought up a team that's of interest to Kyle and I here in the Houston area, the Houston Rockets. KD, of course, is joining the Rockets, but the Rockets are undergoing a little shift as well. They got rid of Jalen Green and brought in KD. How do you see this team going forward?
I think they're competitive. I think anytime you bring in a Kevin Durant to the fold of any team, I think Kevin Durant, like LeBron James, can fit on all 30 teams. When you bring in someone of that name and that magnitude, you adjust to any team. It's interesting because even Kevin Durant being on that Phoenix Suns team last year, the Suns were going through growing pains, if you will, particularly having a new owner or new governor, and the tide of them of Kevin Durant actually coming to Houston came because the Suns were entertaining phone calls from other teams that were calling at the deadline about Kevin Durant, and those teams included Dallas, included the Washington Wizards, included the Golden State Warriors, and I'll be honest with you, and just talking to people across the league, I got the sense, and I started kind of reporting it around February, March, that had Kyrie Irving not injured his knee towards ACL, we might be having another conversation about Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving as members of the Dallas Mavericks. In fact, that Kyrie Irving's injury, his knee, really was, no pun intended, the Achilles heel as to why KD did not find a way to the Dallas Mavericks, even though the Mavericks were calling the Phoenix Suns about KD's availability. So the Houston Rockets have always been a shark looking to obtain him. Of course, KD has a relationship with Ime Udoka that goes back to their days when they were both members. KD, of course, a player on the Brooklyn Nets, and of course, Ime Udoka, an assistant coach under then head coach Steve Nash, and as well as Royal Ivey, who's an assistant coach with the Rockets as well. Actually, KD and Royal Ivey are best friends. KD was in Royal Ivey's wedding and is actually Royal Ivey's daughter's godfather. And so they actually go back even further. They were at University of Texas. Royal Ivey convinced Kevin Durant to join the Texas Longhorns when they were in college. Royal Ivey has always been the voice of reason. So there's a level of familiarity there between Kevin Durant and Royal Ivey, as well as Ime Udoka. So he doesn't come there, a stranger to the personnel that's there. Raphael Stone, the GM there as well, just really keenly aware of the chance that the Rockets have to do something special. And anytime you bring in a Kevin Durant to Houston, you got to give up something. And I think, Jalen Green playing alongside Devin Booker is of intrigue. But I do think that it's going to take some work to kind of get those things gelling, because just because you put names together on a roster doesn't mean they're going to right away. It takes time. Oklahoma Thunder are still the reigning champs.
True. And you got to think about the personalities. You got to think about the age as well. Kevin Durant, still a great player, one of the greatest players in the National Basketball Association, but hey, he's still in his 30s, man, mid-30s. So,
I mean, he's undisputed top 10, though, of all time. If we're really thinking about it, he's in those conversations now at this point in his career. Championship-wise, everything he's done, accolades-wise, I mean, guys, we got to give KD his credit where it's due, even though we did shell out Jalen Green. We did shell out Cam Whitmore. That did make me a little sad because I thought Cam Whitmore, I thought he had some development that we were about to see coming up pretty soon. I thought we saw some sparks throughout the season, but consistency was not there. So when you get consistency with KD at a high clip. So I'll take it. I'll take 28 a game. I'll take that.
Sure. The good, and you speak about 28. If I'm not mistaken, that's Alperen Şengün's jersey number. That's the part that I really like in this move for Kevin Durant. The fact that you're pairing him with Şengün, who I've marveled at for the last couple of years. When I look at centers in today's NBA, in the Western Conference specifically, Şengün is at the top of my list, as well as Ivica Zubac, who plays for the Los Angeles Clippers as well. I'm really intrigued with Şengün's meshing with Kevin Durant, because it's rare that you have a 7-footer in the NBA that plays such a stoic, traditional post game, and it fits. Zubac, of course, fits that, playing alongside James Harden. Seeing that in the Western Conference with Kevin Durant and some of the other guys is interesting. But I really do think one of the things that will really stand out for the Houston Rockets this year is they're going to get a lot of attention. I'd like to see Amen Thompson get Most Improved Player of the Year. That's something
I like
that I'd like to see, because anytime you're playing alongside Kevin Durant and you have that spotlight on you, the national spotlight, more people are going to be paying attention and more people are going to jump on bandwagons. He was already a talented player, Thompson, coming into the league. Both he and his brother.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now you got the national spotlight. This past season, you played in the playoffs, and you got the national people paying attention to you. Didn't work the way it was supposed to work against the Golden State Warriors. Imagine a world where, Kevin Durant was in the Houston Rockets fold in the playoffs playing against his old team. It might be a different conversation, and experience is your biggest teacher. I really do like the pairing of Thompson as well as Şengün playing alongside Kevin Durant. I think that's what's going to be special. Not just Kevin Durant, but the added pieces to it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Great point.
We're getting that veteran mentality from KD too, especially with these younger guys around him. You got Jabari Smith. All these guys are incredibly young. I think most of the teams under 25, right? So I think you got one of the youngest rosters outside of OKC, of course, in the league, and then you add in KD. So I mean, I agree with you completely. We have a lot of great pieces to build around. So just dropping KD in the mix, I mean, I see a championship coming our way, but I'm not gonna jinx it. I promise. But I'm hoping for a championship. We haven't had one since Hakeem, so I'm praying. Genuinely.
Don't leave out Hakeem. Don't just put Hakeem in there. You gotta make sure you put Robert Ory. Make sure you put Kenny the Jet Smith.
Fine. Okay, I love Kenny.
Vernon Maxwell.
All watch TNT.
Of course, Vernon Maxwell.
All those guys. Yeah, man. That was my day, Kyle. So that's when I first got to Houston. So good stuff, man. Let's shift over to one state, Louisiana. And we have a new sheriff in town. His name is Joe Dumas. And, Louisiana boy, he comes back home and he's going to right the ship. Can he? And is Zion ready to be able to accept the role as the leader of the Pelicans? What's your thoughts?
Shreveport's own Louisiana, Shreveport's own Joe Dumas coming to New Orleans, baby. And you make a point about the whole Zion thing. Everything that I've heard over there in New Orleans is that Zion is prepared. Everybody talks about weight, its fitness, and more. I don't know about you, but a guy who people call fat, averaging 20 points a game. Imagine somebody skinny averaging 25 or 30 a game.
Exactly.
I'd like to see Zion take it up another octave. I think he can. But that Pelicans team last year, I spoke with David Griffin at different points during the season, and he was very frustrated just the direction of the way the team was going, because I said this to him. When I look at the Pelicans and I looked at what they had, to me, they were mirroring, at least personnel wise, what the Thunder were doing. Just as far as young talent, building throughout the draft, adding some veteran pieces, and he commiserated with me and said, yeah, that and it didn't go in the direction that he wanted it to go, but ultimately, Joe Dumars has a history of building championship caliber teams. having come from the Detroit Pistons in their front office role years ago, trading to get Rasheed Wallace, trading to get Ben Wallace, and bringing in Larry Brown.
HBCU Ben Wallace, yes.
Of course, definitely an HBCU alum, a guy himself who won 2 championships with the Detroit Pistons alongside Isaiah Thomas and Bill Laimbeer and more. So, he's been around championship pedigree. He's, worked in the NBA's league office, handing out the fines and the discipline. So, he has a track record of just being right place, right time, and building something. So, in answer to your question, I do think New Orleans is in a good space. I really did like the addition of Jordan Poole, an NBA champion himself, as a member of the Golden State Warriors, was kind of in the doldrums for a couple of years in Washington with the Wizards. And, he's playing amongst guys. I really did like the addition of Kevon Looney. As I was reporting going into the draft, the Pelicans did draft Derek Queen, and they needed one more centerpiece. There was talks that Al Horford would be in that fold, but it seems as though Al Horford will find his way ultimately to the Golden State Warriors. He fits Steve Kerr's system a little better, but Kevon Looney is an interesting case study. I spent some time with Kevon Looney last summer in Los Angeles, and one of the things that he talked to me about was improving his jump shooting quite a bit. And while that was ambitious to me, and while I think he has that skill set to do it, Golden State wasn't necessarily the right spot to get your shooting in place when you're playing alongside of Steph Curry and Draymond Green, because it's predicated upon their guards and their small forwards. New Orleans is going to give you that opportunity in Willie Green's system. So I'm expecting Kevon Looney to his numbers. I could see him getting in a solid 10, 12 points a game in that system in New Orleans, playing alongside Zion. And Zion doesn't have to play so much post. He can play off the ball, play off the wing, and really just be a free-flowing juggernaut in Willie Green's system as long as he stays healthy.
Yeah. Healthy is the key for Zion. He does affect the game once he's in the game. So, especially talking about health, there's much to do about. We saw Dame Lillard go down. We saw a number of the players with these Achilles injuries. What's going on? What's the NBA saying? Have you heard anything from the league office?
Nothing of
nope.
Nothing new. No breaking news, if that's what you're asking. It's more along the lines of that's the ebb and flows of the game. And I think that the Jason Tatum injury was a freak accident. So was Lillard. I think I just think when you compact in it, I feel like an 82 game season coupled with travel and with playoffs, like things happen. I think that's just the nature of the game. I think what's different, we talked about Joe Dumars, and I remember his teammate Isaiah Thomas, if I'm not mistaken, was it his meniscus that or his Achilles? He hurt his Achilles on his way out towards the end of his career.
It was a lower leg injury, but I don't recall if it was Achilles or not. But it was a lower leg injury.
Back then, you have an injury like that, you're done.
You're gone. Yeah.
In today's league, I think one of the things that saves Jason Tatum is his age, as well as just advancement in technology, as well as in medical science, that he'll be fine. I think even when you looked at Kobe Bryant, when he was a bit older. I think that Lillard is kind of along those lines of age, and I think he'll be okay. I think one of the other things that benefits him is in Portland, he's going to sell tickets. It reminds me so much of the Sixers and Allen Iverson when AI ultimately found his way back to the Sixers years later. Sixers needed to sell tickets, and he did that, his return. I expect a similar return at some point for Russell Westbrook with the Thunder. He did not leave on bad terms. And there's a love that Oklahoma has for him to this day.
Yeah, those fans, yeah.
And so I think in answer to your question just about injuries and technology and all of that stuff, all will be well. And at some point, you will see Tatum. But if I'm Jason Tatum, I'm not rushing to come back this year. For what? I can't even pronounce their starting center's name. For what?
So you're saying this year is not the season for the Celtics at all? Are we agreeing this?
I think that the Celtics are in a situation similar to the Dallas Mavericks from last season, where the Dallas Mavericks had a change in ownership. They moved Luka, and people are frustrated. I would not be surprised if the Boston Celtics are in a situation where they're a lottery team, and they are going to be restarting their team because the Boston Celtics are changing ownership hands from Wyc Grousbeck to their new owner, and those people who are on that team are not the new owner's guys. You saw them trade Kristaps Porzingis. Derek White has been a name that has been in numerous trade rumors. And Jaylen Brown is also someone whose name has been in numerous trade rumors, who I'm also glad not only did he get the bag and sign that big deal, but he's giving back to the community.
Smart guy. Such a smart guy, man.
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest with you, in a world where everybody was talking about Kevin Durant and the San Antonio Spurs, if I'm the Spurs, I'm looking for a way to trade for Jaylen Brown in the next year or two.
Hold on. Wait
That's
a minute
good point.
now. I like that, actually.
Yeah.
That's not.
I can see that as well. All right, Kyle, any last questions for Scoop B?
Well, Scoop, I heard you talking about, you mentioned a wedding earlier. Now, you know Taylor Rooks
Man,
got married.
do you have to mention Taylor Rooks' wedding? You know, all the men were just crying yesterday. I saw more men crying than the ladies out there.
Look, man, I saw a brother fall to his knees in Walmart, like just breaking down because he just loves Taylor Rooks. First of all, a lot of them didn't even know she was engaged for some reason. That cracks me up. But Scoop, I need to know, man, why weren't you at the wedding? Because you got the scoop. You should have been at the wedding.
I wasn't invited. I know.
Telling me everything.
I wasn't invited, but I know Taylor. I'm happy for Taylor. I'm glad to see that come her way. I did know she was seeing someone, but I think one of the things that I commend her for is keeping that personal and professional balance, which I think is pretty cool. Definitely a colleague of mine that I respect and is one phone call away. I think it's still one phone call away, but at the same time, I'm happy for her and her husband. Congratulations.
True. It was a beautiful wedding reception though. Like the pictures just seemed beautiful. I'm kind of jealous. I just wanted to be there for the food, not gonna lie, but it seemed really nice.
They did a great job. Taylor's a beautiful girl anyway, right? And very, very well. She does very, very well as a journalist covering multiple sports. So her and Shane Fowler, congratulations on the wedding there. Scoop, my last question to you is right now when we look at the WNBA, some of the ladies are still heavily protesting going into next season already. They still haven't finished this season, but still thinking about pay equity. What are you hearing?
I mean, as far as the pay equity that they get, I definitely think they should be getting paid a lot more. And I definitely think that the proof is in the pudding. If you look at the fact that they're expanding teams incrementally over the next few years, that shows you that more money is coming into the fold. What I'm hearing is that there will be a more candid conversation later in the season or even after the season is over, and that they'll come to some sort of conclusion. I don't foresee there being an actual strike. I foresee them coming to the WNBA's Players Association and the league coming to some sort of middle ground. I think you've seen the planes that the private planes or the chartered planes that they got be something that
was a positive move in the right direction. It's long overdue, right?
But very long overdue. I've been around the WNBA since its inception in 1997, and remember the days locally of watching Teresa Weatherspoon and Rebecca Lobo, and then even Cynthia Cooper and and all those other people. At this point, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are standing on the shoulders of giants. In between that time was Candace Parker and Lisa Leslie and Swin Cash and some of the others. And so I think this is a monumental time in their in their business, and I think they're capitalizing off of it, and it's to be commended. But from everything that I've heard from folks in the WNBA, there will be a continual conversation throughout the course of the season, and that those conversations will continue. Social media has been their friend, but the new broadcasting deal with the league and their partners, I think, will dictate some of what that money will look like as well. So I think they're in a good space, and I'm very happy for the ladies in the W, and I'm glad to see them have their moment.
Yeah, definitely. What can you do, or can you say, or offer some advice to a young cat like Kyle Anthony here, who is trying to become a journalist like yourself and broadcaster like yourself, especially in this time?
Don't wait to college to get started. Start now. That's what I did. I think, and it starts with your writing. Write quite a bit. Put your stuff out there. Put your thoughts out there. Network locally. I believe that before you show your face to the world, you first have to take care of home. I can say that, when I finished graduate school in 2011, I was living in my grandmother's basement. I did not have a stove. I did not have an oven. I cooked on crock pots, microwave, George Foreman.
Yeah.
I had a double door fridge. The freezer side operated as a fridge. The refrigerator side didn't work. I was freelancing in about 12 different publications. And I connected to people locally and freelanced at different places. And so, coming at that point, I connected with Jabril Peppers, who's on the New England Patriots. He was in high school at the time, and he would text me quotes while he was in homeroom. I remember, connecting and aligning with Kyrie Irving in his second year in the league with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and, was showing up at his basketball camps and building relationships there, connecting with, Carmelo Anthony when he was a Knick, and as well as CeCe Sabathia when he was a Yankee, and really taking care of home base and connecting. And what ended up happening was you build clips over time. So when I was, covering Jabril Peppers and Kyrie Irving for the local East Orange, New Jersey and West Orange, New Jersey Record newspaper, I pitched that to CBS and wrote more long form stories. And when Jabril Peppers committed to the University of Michigan, I was writing features over at Max Preps. And so over time, home became national, and it's just continuing to build that front as far as where local goes. So I think it's just those news pegs, those clips, and just continuing to build and making it happen. And your time will come if you're consistent. If you're building and you have good energy and good aura about you, your time will come.
Yes, sir, for sure. Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you so much, Scoopy.
Thank you.
Tell everybody how they can find you out there on social media and on the internet.
At Scoop B on Twitter and Instagram, Scoop_B on TikTok. Subscribe to Scoop B TV on YouTube. And there you can actually check out a mini doc that I dropped back in April called The Freeze Out, which analyzed Michael Jordan and Isaiah Thomas's 1985 NBA All-Star game. I did a press run around it, and it's got a lot of good responses. Interviewed a lot of different people for that project, and but all my other interviews and things of that sort. So make sure you check that out, and check out the Scoop B blog at scoopb.com. Subscribe to the Scoop B Radio podcast on all streaming platforms. Yeah,
and you're also doing a radio spot too, correct?
Not consistently. I mean, now I've kind of just there are a lot of people who asked me to come on different radio shows. I was recently on Fox Sports Radio discussing some things. So I appear on different radio shows and television shows as needed when they need me. But no, right now I'm really focusing on just everything Scoop B blog, Scoop B Radio. And that's it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Very proud of you, man.
Thank you.
And
That's awesome.
always very proud of you. Every time I see you, you do a fine job, great job. And for those guys out there, I always want to question Scoop B's when he drops some nuggets. Stop questioning. Just
Pretty
accept
much.
it. Yeah, just
I
accept
don't
it.
know where.
Yeah, I'm like, what? You know what's so interesting, Scoop, and I don't want to harp on this too long, is when I break news as well, and I've seen Josina Anderson when she breaks news, or anyone of color breaking news, we always get questioned about if we are reporting something accurate or not. Why would I put my reputation as a journalist out there for credibility's sake to report something that's inaccurate, or something that I'm fabricating? It just doesn't make any sense. We'd always have to work harder, smarter, and faster than anyone else anyway. But when they challenge you, sometimes it gets very personal, and I'm like, I don't like that, man.
Yeah, it gets personal, and I've dialed back quite a bit. But you gotta pick your spots. It gets personal.
Yeah.
People have insulted my family. Some family that are no longer here, and just it gets to
when they attacked your mom, that was just uncalled for.
Yeah, it was uncalled for. But I think at the end of the day, body of work matters. I've been in the game since I was 12. I've been around NBA teams since then, and been around basketball even before then. And I think when you know who you are, you don't have to prove to people that you are who you are. I was who I was before I got here.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, you just got to keep moving. I think that's the biggest thing. And I think in today's climate right now, I think there is a very pointed attack on ridding people who may look like me and you of their voice, and of there's just an energy that's out here that is just very uncomfortable.
Yeah, definitely. All right, thank you so much, guys. You can follow Scoop. He told you how to be able to follow him everywhere. Kyle, how can everyone follow you?
You guys can find me on Instagram at Kyle Anthony Mosley. You can find me on Twitter at Kyle Anthony Cam, and you can find me on TikTok at Kyle A Mosley.
All right. I'm Kyle Trevor Mosley, and you can check us out at HBCU Legends, as well as Black Sports Insiders on YouTube, as well as all social media platforms. Scoop B, I appreciate you, man. We're going to have you back on throughout the season. I know it's going to be some more nuggets you can drop out there. You always have a home here, man. You can't get rid of us. We're a family, baby.
Yes, sir. Likewise.
All right. You guys take care. Thank you so much. Hi, Kyle T. Mosley here with A.D. Drew and Keisha J. Kelly of the Black College Experience. Going to talk about MEAC. The MEAC was in full force today with their media day. And Drew, you were there. And Keisha, you had some great observations to talk about what happened there. But guys, if you didn't know, is the 2025 MEAC Football Media Day at M&T Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. And Drew, how was it all together, man?
From what I get, because this was my first time going to the MEAC, they had more media members there this year than they have had in recent history.
I wonder why.
Great venue. Mute her, man. Mute her. Mute the one, my left, your right. Anyway. Great venue there at M&T Stadium. We were up here on the suite level. Had a nice area up there on the suite level.
Oh, we know okay, Drew. We already know Black College Network. You guys are going to get taken care of. Doc and you guys, we already know that. We already know.
No. I'm talking about the total where everybody was at, not us personally.
All right. No.
We know we about that sweet life over at Black College. But anyway, But no, great job, great setup. All the teams had their appropriate, step and repeats and everything. They had the different media sections. Obviously, you had those that were what we call your obligation media outlets, such as your ESPN's interviews and your HBCU game day. And there was plenty of space for secondary people to be able to do our interviews.
Now, was HBCU Go there as well?
Of course, that's one of those obligation interviews, as we like to call them, because they have a contract with HBCU Go, so they're going to make sure that they be able to get their content in. So great breakfast. Of the 6 teams there, 4 of them actually had printed materials for us to be able to go through. Did not have opportunity to go through them. I'll look through them later. For some reason, everybody ran out of the Norfolk State window. I grabbed one. I went back to the table to grab a second one because somebody grabbed mine off my table, and it was all gone. So don't know why that one was so popular. I wonder why.
Keisha, any idea?
Maybe it's the colors. I have no idea. Maybe they like the green and gold.
Behold.
What is it? Gold, the green and gold. Maybe it's the colors. I don't know.
Yeah. But got an opportunity to talk to 5 of the 6 head coaches and their respective teams.
Who did you guys not have a chance to speak to?
We talked to everybody but Central. Trey Oliver was a little bit up under the weather, so we didn't force the issue with Trey Oliver. But got an opportunity to talk to Trey Oliver last week at the MEAC SWAC presses. So we've got content from Trey Oliver. We just didn't get any additional new content today, but we did get the other 5 teams taken care of today. So overall, I think it was a great experience. If I had to rate certain things about that one, I'll point blank, I'll say this. The HVAC award for press conferences goes to the SWAC. The temperature in the room at the SWAC was controlled perfectly.
Okay.
The other 3 events that I went to, temperature was a little bit on the hot side, if you understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
So it was a little warm up there today. They are doing construction on the stadium. I don't know if that has something to do with it or what, but it was the same thing at the SIAC when we were at Georgia State for the MEAC SWAC. It was a little bit warmer. That would be number 2 on the HVAC awards that we're going to give out.
Okay. All right. Well, right. Let's do it like this, man. Keisha, Drew, both you guys were at SIAC and SWAC. Drew, you also added the MEAC, but nobody attended the CIAA. Based upon what you saw, Keisha, from the MEAC, but also being in attendance at the other 2, and you, Drew, how do you guys rate this particular media day, the MEAC? What was your thoughts in compared to the SWAC and everything else, Keisha?
Well, Drew was there, so I can only go by what I see. One of the things that I think, this was Brian talked about this last week, which I think he made a really great point. I don't know if y'all remember when they used to bring all the coaches out with the helmets and introduce them in the beginning. And that was like the perfect photo op. So I really liked how the SWAC used to do that. And that was kind of like the opener for it. This year, and in SWAC Media Day, it's like it really was no opener to me. It's like no opener, so it's just like we kind of do just delve into it. It's no opening statement with the SIAC.
What about the MEAC? Did they have an opening? Yes or no?
Well, their format is a little bit different than the rest of the conferences.
Okay, all right. Keith,
other conferences start off with their stage show, as I call it, where the coaches come up, commissioner come up, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right. The MEAC does it the exact opposite. The MEAC opens up and let the players and the coaches talk to the media outlets, and then they close with the stage show with Jay and
Okay.
Tiffany hosting the event at noon Eastern on ESPN. But your interviews start in the 9 o'clock hour, so you have 2.5 hours to get your content, and then they close with the with the actual
Okay.
TV portion of it. So the formats are a little bit different, and there's things to like about both formats.
Okay. All right. Keith, continue. I'm sorry.
Oh
Interrupt.
no, I think it was, more so the SIAC. I guess I'm just used to that opening. So with Commissioner Holloman, with that opening, that's just what I'm used to, that opening. I'm used to opening just to get it started. And so that's just what I got used to. I wish like Brian was saying, I wish the SWAC would go back to that. But it's just like we kind of jumped into it. And I'm just looking at my picture frozen down there, Kyle. But yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. We still have your beautiful face there, so we're good. So Drew, based upon the interviews, based upon the buzz, and let's say the tone of the whole conference with the media there, did they have more buzz at the SWAC, more buzz at the MEAC?
Pick your poison. Obviously,
Okay.
the buzz at the MEAC was around two individuals.
Deshaun Jackson, Michael Vick.
Yes, Deshaun
Okay.
Jackson and Michael Vick. The buzz in the SWAC was around Jackson State, and then probably number two would have to be Terrell Buckley when it came to the buzz at the SWAC, because of the new excitement, because he's the hottest thing since fish grease to come into the SWAC for this year. So
Okay.
yes.
All right.
And also around Tremaine Jackson also.
Okay.
The hype around Tremaine Jackson.
All right, Keish, are you still there?
I am. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
So I would be remiss if we didn't. I gotta say it was more so around Coach Shade. It was definitely around Alabama A&M. It was definitely a swirl around Alabama A&M with Coach Shade coming over, from the SIAC coming over to the SWAC. There was, I think that Coach Jackson, he kind of remained low key. I did get a chance to talk to him. Now y'all know how to interview him ahead of time, so that was just a good thing. But I don't know. I didn't get a chance to get to Coach Buckley, so I don't really say that it was too much around anybody. But I do think Alabama A&M had a lot of it, because they had a lot of presence there. There was a lot of people with Alabama A&M and with Jackson State, like you said. So I guess it kind of be both with them.
Okay.
And see, that's part of the problem with the SWAC. No knock against the SWAC, but 12 schools, it is hard to get to all 12 schools in the SWAC in the allotted time that you are given. And I've been covering the SWAC for a number of years, and Kyle, I do not recall ever getting to all 12 schools. I've done 10, I've done 11, but I've never done all 12 for one reason or another.
Okay, cool.
And
all right.
She mentioned Alabama A&M. We didn't get to Alabama A&M this year. So it's who got to who, and what was your vibe when you talked to that person that you got to?
Okay, cool.
I think, I'm sorry, before you move on, I think one of the things is more like what Steve Gaither and I talked about last week. The thing is that I get it. Everybody trying to get their content, but people have to be respectable. You have to be respectable of every other person in media. People trying to do shows. You won't have time to do 30-minute shows. We just don't. Like, it's not fair when you got so many other media people there. It don't take all of that. Like, the scheduled interview. We know you can't get everybody to come do a show. We get it. But when you got 10 other people waiting, and it's just like, to me, it's just me. It's tacky when you got a whole 30-minute segment going and you got 5-10 people waiting to talk to the same coach. That's just my opinion, though.
And that's the SWAC you talked about.
That's multiple conferences.
Okay. All right. A lot of logistical situations to kind of work out there. But let's talk about the predictive order of finish, guys. Right now, we looked at South Carolina State, the champions from 2024, 63 points, a narrow edge over NCCU. Then Morgan State, number 3, Norfolk State, 4, Howard State, 5, Delaware State at number 6. What was surprising to me about this, and it could be the ADs or even the coaches themselves deciding, right, I'm going to vote for myself here, that Norfolk and Delaware State each got a first place vote. And of course, North Carolina Central with 4 and South Carolina State with 5. AD?
Two things. Number one, does the word chalk mean anything to you? Because that's exactly, if you go back and look at last year's results, this is last year's results in the conference. And what is more telling than the fact that they went chalk, which is, let's be honest, that's what you expect every time preseason polls come out. 9 times out of 10, it's chalk from last year's results. But the fact that no one gave Morgan State a first place vote,
that's what was
so
a
surprising thing to me.
Right. I'm like, if you didn't, you should at least vote for yourself.
Well, normally you're not allowed to vote for yourself.
Well, somebody vote for Norfolk and Delaware State. I'm just trying to understand how, unless they believe that Coach Vic and Coach Jackson can duplicate what Coach Sanders was able to do in the SWAC his first season, I don't see it right now. But hey, I've been wrong before. Right. So your thoughts, Keish?
Look, first I'm going to tell you, I heard you call Howard State. I heard it. I want you to call them people Howard University. Y'all just going to butcher these people and treat these people like they don't.
Time out.
Y'all just not going to do Howard University like this. Now.
Well, look, that might have been a Morehouse faux pas there. A slip of the tongue, a Freudian slip.
You know what? I'm going to give you grief anyway. That I'm just giving you grief. We're gonna get into that next part. In my opinion, I think 1 and 2, anything could happen between 1 and 2. But much to what y'all both said, to not even get a first place vote for Morgan State is very telling.
Well, Howard State, the real HU, what?
Even Pine Bluff get a number 1 vote over there in the SWAC. Even Pine Bluff got one now. And what's going on over here?
Yeah.
They ain't got 6 schools.
You know what's kind of interesting? I'm going to just say this, because Morgan State, number 3, no first place vote, but Damon Wilson was able to have the preseason players of the year for offense and defense with Hunter as well as Collins. That's what was so interesting about this. Think about that. He's got both of these young men at, ready to go, man. And these guys don't even include Morgan State as a possibility at number 1. That was kind of like a shock to me, and one guy got 1/3 team defense all by himself. But anyway, I don't see a problem with Eric Hunter or Jason Collins being the players of the year for the preseason. Any thoughts with these young men? Nope.
No, excellent years last year. Let me say this. Morgan State may not win it, but Morgan State going to stop somebody from winning it. We'll just say
I like that. Yeah. I can see that happening as well. Okay, guys. Let's get on and let's talk about the big fireworks that really happened. But we got to preface it with this.
Howard
said, "Oh my God,
Howard, listen, you guys got a lot of great history and tradition, and it would be an honor to accept the head coach's job
at Howard
University, and I will make sure that them young brothers will be good, be disciplined, and be great young men. And we gonna win championships.
Y'all see what's going on?
And you gotta offer me a lot of money. You feel me? Howard.
All right. I'm not gonna play the whole clip, but remember this happened a few months ago.
Correct.
All right. Keisha?
Can we get today's clip? You got today's clip?
I have today's clip, but this happened a few months ago. And I just thought when this happened, that was totally disrespectful of Larry Scott.
Correct.
All right.
And
Coach Scott did take his team to a Celebration Bowl.
correct.
Did finish first place twice in the MEAC since he came to the MEAC in 2020.
Right.
What was perplexing about both of these things? And, you know, this one, Deshaun just got accepted the job over at Delaware State, right? And I just thought this was just a total disrespect of Howard's program as well as Larry Scott, and not having a real understanding of Howard University. Go ahead.
So with me, yeah, y'all know me. I'm a straight shooter. I say what I say, and I'm gonna move out the way. I tweeted what I tweeted, and I stood on that. I don't care how many subliminals come behind it. I don't care how many guys come behind it. I said it once, I can say it twice. I said what I meant, and I meant what I said. People can get mad and say, oh, you don't have to go to HBCUs. I said what I said. Nobody can tell your story better than you. So when you're bringing other people, the name association, and I don't care how much we go back and forth, y'all know Grambling don't like Southern and Southern don't like Grambling. I would never disrespect Grambling on that level. I would never disrespect any HBCU like that for any matter, to call them the wrong name. And then it's just like he was comfortable with it. And then it's not like you just talking to one of your homeboys, you talking to the head coach that has done wonderful things. So it's like, how much do you really know? Like Google is free. You got to sit down and do that research before you actually go to, like, I mean, you got to do that before you go to media day. And I mean, it's not to say that he's just, because you don't even have to be a big name. I didn't have people question me on some stuff, and that's a hill you don't want to down. Seriously, that's not a flex. You don't ask me nothing about HBCU, especially if you didn't go to a HBCU and you questioning it. Just Google it. Like, that's just easy.
Yeah. Drew, what's your thoughts?
Trying to put my words together in a positive manner, because we've seen some negativity come out over the last couple of days with different posts and everything. But was he just having fun with this, and because of the name of Howard? Because when you talk about HBCU brands, you make your list. I don't care where it is. Howard's going to be in the top 5 of your list. Mm-hmm. So was he just making fun of because of the name, because people gonna recognize that name? If he says that same thing about Norfolk State or Morgan State, nobody's gonna care. But would you say that name, Howard? That name has a little bit of passion behind it. That name draws fire. That name, it has recognition.
It has weight.
It has weight. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Just like when you say a Morehouse, just like when you say Tuskegee, and there are a couple of other brands out there. When you say
Southern, Grambling,
those names,
right?
They have weight behind those names.
Jackson, yeah.
So and when I say weight, not just from us as African Americans, it has weight on both sides of the coin.
Well, I guess to me, still, if you're a broadcaster and you say something, hey, come get me, I want that job at Howard, that's still overlooking somebody already in place.
The first rule should be, you never apply for a job when somebody still has that job. Even in my coaching days, when people was like, hey, you might be interested, blah, 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 not long as that person is there.
Mm-hmm.
When that person leaves, then we have that conversation.
Okay. Let's look at what he said today.
Larry Scott here with Hampton. And it's funny, man. You could tell when Hampton's in the building, high standards.
Right there, you knew he messed up. Coach Scott, that face right there, hold up. Go ahead, Drew.
Back that clip up again. Run that clip one more time.
Larry Scott here with Hampton. And it's funny, man. You could tell when Hampton's in the building, high standards. Look at the
Hampton in the building.
But we ain't gonna keep letting that go. We're not Hampton. We're the real HU. We're a Howard University.
That's my bad. Them HBCU, let's give a little bit.
Yeah,
Howard.
You came out and said this is a job you want.
That's my fault.
Right when Larry Scott, you can't say that about the job you wanted. Oh, Keish, right there. Coach Scott was like, hold on, bro.
See, that's the thing. We don't let you forget. And that's, I guess that's what I was more so reacting, not that first clip, but the second one. We don't let you forget. We don't let, that's the thing. I don't care. Black people ain't gonna let you forget something you done. Yeah. Like somebody said, oh, RG3 could, no, because he fumbled that celebration ball. No, we don't forget stuff. That's the thing. No, we don't forget. So if that's the job you wanted, then that's the job you should be educated on. You should know. And it was, I get it. It was like confidence. Even in having fun, you still got to be knowledgeable about what you're talking about. Like that's just, yeah, no, I don't care. You ever fumble Southern like that, I'm gonna call you out. I don't care who you are. Sorry.
Let me ask you this, Drew. You said earlier you were trying to put a positive spin on it. This was absolutely a faux pas, right? But this was a big mistake.
What Coach Scott going though? He just get out the chair.
It looked like Coach Scott was about to get out the chair, but he wasn't, But I mean, I don't know. I know some people try to say this is innuendo, that it was further disrespect. I think this was a mistake he made.
Here's the thing. Why is Shady there?
That's what I asked. Now, Keisha, did I ask you that question last week?
I answered the question, but I'm gonna let y'all talk about it.
I asked that same question. Why is he?
Ask. Okay, so I'll say it. I'll go back to it again. Back to my original point. We're looking at name association. Let's just be honest. You're looking at name association. You're looking at who the person is. And again, people. I don't care if people get mad when I say it. You got people, much to like Coach Oliver said, that are getting overlooked. You got people that can actually come into this actual space, come into these actual institutions, come into these conferences and do that. But because they don't have the name association like him, then they can't come in and get that. People that's been waiting and waiting and waiting. But because of who he is, okay, well, we're going to pull him in. And that's totally fine. Just make sure that he does his research. And when he mess up, you going to get drugged. That's just how it is. I don't care who it is. People, you don't always have to be first, but you do have to be right. I say that all the time. That's just how people are. That's just my opinion. And so somebody was like, oh, yeah, because he's always doing such and such. Well, I'm much like a lot of people aren't. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. I'm going to say what people are thinking. And I'm going to say what people are scared to say. You scared to say something because of who it is. I don't care. I truly don't. You mess up, you mess up. And if you was having fun, that's cool. But Drew tried to play us and ask, why is he there? So now why don't you tell us why he's there, Drew?
All right. What we have to remember, and I'm coming from a totally different perspective. College athletics is a business.
It's a business.
Correct.
That's right.
Why is Shady McCoy there? I'm going to give you one reason. 800K. And that don't mean dollars. That's his Instagram followers, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
He's got over 800K Instagram followers. If Shady does not make this faux pas, are we talking on this podcast right now? Probably not. Is anybody talking about MEAC Media Day outside the 6 institutions that were there? Probably not. What's the number one thing trending, at least on Black Twitter right now? Black IG, Black Threads, and everything else? This clip.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if this was an intended or unintended consequence, but you damn sure got a rise out of everybody. You got a reaction. out of everybody, intended, unintended, the results we gonna see.
Yeah. Well,
and let me take it one step further.
Okay.
Howard, you may have been disrespected, but Howard, you have no leg to stand on.
Ooh.
Howard, 4-19 this century against Hampton. Have lost 8 in a row.
Why is that?
Howard, all time against Hampton.
Mm-hmm.
I had it pulled up. What did I do with it? Give me a second. I'll pull it back up. I just had it. I lost my page where I had it at.
All right. Why are you finding that, man? You make a great point. This is a business. And one of the
33 and 47, 33, 47 and 1 all time. I'm sorry.
All right.
81 meetings, 33, 47 and 1.
Okay. This is a business. And I understand McCoy's relationship with Michael Vick, as well as Deshaun Jackson. And like you said, 800,000 in Instagram followers. But really, does that really speak to understanding HBCU side, Keisha?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Having all the following and the business relationship, and NFL getting involved with this as well. They understood the business side of why it was important to be able to have certain star figures or whatever a part of this. But was that really understanding the HBCU side?
No. And like, I'm one of those, and again, you can dress it up and make it pretty and look at it from any standpoint. But when I speak about, I don't speak from just a sports. I speak from a passion of HBCUs. I wake up to it. I do it during the day. I do it before I go to sleep. I speak from a passion of HBCUs because so many people, it's a business. And that's what too many people look at it as. Oh, it's just a business. I'm going to get my check. But in the end, you got to think about the disrespect that has already gone on with it. The people that don't respect it, the people that think it's just easy to get into it, the people that don't research it, the people that don't really care about it, the people that don't donate to it, the people that don't stay with it. So you get this type of thing. And yes, I'm going to be passionate about it. Yes, I'm going to be boisterous about it. Yes, I'm going to keep talking about it. And I don't care who it is. I don't care if you got 1 billion followers. The fact remains is that you made a mistake. You didn't research it. And it does not matter. Because if we want to keep it buck, Hampton is not even in the MEAC. Let's go there. So why are we even addressing a school that's not even in that conference? So it does not matter what that was, how that played out. You talked about a school that you want to work at a couple of months ago and you messed it up. I'm all about accountability. Just say I messed up and move on. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't see it until Coach Walker tweeted, and I was like, oh, that's when I saw it. I didn't even see it prior to that. Then I was like, oh, but yeah. Go ahead, Drew. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, so Kyle, which one gets the bigger rise? That Hampton Howard faux pas, or if he would have made a faux pas about Central and A&T?
No, Hampton Howard.
I have to ask the question though. Despite the fact A&T has more alumnus out there,
but the brand is not as big as Howard, right?
You go back to my original point.
Yeah.
The business
all right.
side, whether it was intentional, whether it was unintentional, it's going to have some good. It's going to have some, at least a trending consequence right now. The MEAC will be trending over the next 24 hours.
Yeah. I think in the future, they're going to make sure, and whoever the executive producer of this, just to make sure that the guest commentators have a full understanding and knowledge of who they're commentating on. So anyway, let's do this.
There's a lot of layers in terms of the story that's told with two NFL players being able to take their respective programs, playing each other, and maximizing that visibility for your student athletes. Your thoughts, Coach?
And I think you said it, man, the visibility. When it was brought to my attention, when me and Deshaun first talked about it, and then I talked to A.D. Webb, and we kind of, was just kind of spinning the wheel on what it really meant. For me, it was more so about, my players being able to walk into an NFL stadium, look around, soak in the experience, and get some exposure. Whatever media outlet takes it on, the spotlight is going to be on them, and I think that's important for their future. They deserve that. Like Deshaun just said, man, they've been working out at 6 in the morning for the last 6 months, and so I feel like to reward them, I'm gonna put them on the stage where they can go out and they compete at a high level.
Okay. Any thoughts about the comments from Coach Vic?
Well, I don't have not on his comment, but I noticed that Michael Vick's feet are swinging. Now, I noticed his feet didn't touch the floor, Kyle. I just noticed that in the video. I just saw that. Just caught me off. I was like, God, I know Michael's taller than that, but no, that's just what I noticed.
They're the high boy chairs.
How tall is Michael Vick?
Michael Vick,
5'10", 5'11"?
No, he's a little bit taller than me.
Is he?
I'm 5'10", yeah.
So your feet would have been swinging too, is what you're saying?
Probably. He's probably a solid 6'1".
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So positive comments from Coach Vic there to be able to spotlight his kids. And that's one of the things I think we as media sometimes forget. Without the kids playing this game and actually being a part of what's going on,
right?
We don't have much to talk about. Go ahead, sure. AD. And you're SID over at the house.
Yeah. If go back to Black College Sports Network's broadcast of the MEAC press conference, and if you go to our last interview with Coach Larry Scott, go back and listen to that. And when he got into talking about this changing landscape, these games like we're talking about in Philly and some of these other classes, we have got to start being creative and doing things like that, especially in this new NIL space. So if whatever we can do to generate money to get back to our programs, to be able to get to the NIL portion, to pay these kids, because 5 out of the 6 schools opted in the MEAC. So
who was the lone school not to opt in?
I want to say I don't want to misquote it, but it was one of the southern schools. I can't remember which one of them was.
Okay.
So the 2 down south. I just don't remember which one of them it was. But we've got to do things like this. Work together on classes. Yeah. Except for those 3 hours on that one Saturday when you play each other, you're going against each other. But the other times, the schools have got to work together to create and bring out and multiply the brand of the MEAC. That's what a game like that in Philly is doing. The fact that you've got the NFL behind it with the Eagles behind their game. Hey, don't you think something like that may have had an influence on them being in the Ravens Stadium?
It definitely did.
So we got to do it. And this was everybody who was there said this was the best thing for the MEAC for Media Day. Number one, it was a lot easier to get to than Norfolk, Virginia, because
going over that bridge.
I found an inexpensive flight from Atlanta to Baltimore.
Yeah, that Norfolk. Yeah, going into there is expensive. Yeah,
my flight was cheaper than gas.
Wow. Okay. All right. Let's kind of move on, guys, so we can kind of wrap this up. Look, all in all, having Coach Vic, having Coach Jackson is great for a conference that has been teetering. Let's be honest, right? Financially teetering. There was not really strong buy-in from some of the, as far as support behind the scenes of what was happening with the MEAC from a couple of years ago. So I think it's good for Commissioner Steele. I think it's good for the conference. I think it's good for all the member schools. Okay. Any last thoughts there, Keisha, before we move on about Coach Vic and his presence, as well as Coach Jackson?
No, I don't have anything else now.
Okay. All right, cool. Going on to the top two teams, North Carolina Central, South Carolina State, in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, we have Southern and we have Jackson State. If we had to put those four schools together right now, how would you rank those guys? Drew?
Who are your two SWAC representatives again?
Southern, Jackson State.
What I look for is, especially early in the season, I look for coach quarterback combos that are returning.
That's important.
With that being said, Southern coach quarterback returning. Central coach, although he didn't start a whole lot the whole entire season, Central has a coach and a quarterback combination returning. So you have to think about that.
Jackson State as well.
Jackson State coach quarterback combination returning. And then you've got South Carolina State coaches returning, new quarterback. So just based on the pedigree, because Jackson State has done it, you've got to put Jackson State at the top. Can Southern get over the Western hump? What do I mean by the Western hump, Kyle and Keisha? Since we have gone to the SWAC championship game being hosted on campus, the West has never won. The West has never hosted since 2018.
Okay.
East has hosted every year. East has won. So the first thing Southern got to do, can Southern get the number one seed and get the host spot first? Because the trend is, if you host, you win. That's what we got to see.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you an interesting stat on South Carolina State, though, and that's why this question is so tough. Do you realize Coach Chinnisberry, over two institutions, has not lost a conference game in 3 years?
Wow.
As a coach.
Didn't know.
To be specific, he has won. He is, let's see, what's this, 25, so 24, 23. He has not lost a conference game as a coach since 2021. That was 25 consecutive conference games. He won his last 3 in 21. He won 8 at Benedict in 22, 8 at Benedict in 23, 6 at South Carolina State in 24. And if you want to throw it in there for good luck, it's 27 in a row if you add the 2 SIEC championship games into that mix.
Okay.
Can't count South Carolina State out either.
Can't. All right, Keisha, what's your thoughts?
That's some interesting facts. I think he talked about that. I don't think he went into that much detail, but that's some very interesting facts. Much to what Drew said, I agree. The only thing is that Southern has not named a starting quarterback. That's the thing. We never named a starting quarterback. And Coach Graves made that known. You know, that's always everybody's question. Who's gonna be QB1? You gonna see August 23rd. That's when you're gonna see August 23rd. We haven't named a starting quarterback, and you know, it's a lot of mix, and you know, it's new coaches and so on and so forth. And so what happens now is Coach from Alcorn. It's like my mind went blank.
Thomas
McNair. So Coach McNair has been promoted to quarterbacks coach, right? And so,
and
you know,
also,
since
is he co-offensive coordinator?
yes, since you know, Todd decided he wanted to leave us, but you know, that's neither here nor
He's
nor
at Fort
there.
Valley now.
That's still my guy. You know, I got a chance to talk to him last week, but you know, that's neither here nor there. But no, and so it's much like you said. I mean, of course, you can never count out Jackson State, and it's pretty much like Drew said. You know, it's getting over that hump. And even when I got a chance to talk to Coach Graves about it, it's like, you know, talking about correcting the mistakes. It's simple things. And so, of course, with Jackson State being predicted to go first in the East, Southern being predicted to go first in the West, you know, you don't want to keep being the we went team. You want to be the we went and won team. That's what you don't want to just keep going. You want to go and win.
Okay, and I think that's what Prairie View went into as well. They kept going, but they couldn't get over that hump as well.
And Southern hasn't won a championship since 2013.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Very interesting. Look, Jackson State still at the top.
Correct.
Let's just say it that way. Until you knock off the champs, we just spitting.
Right.
now.
Can I give you some useless trivia?
Go ahead.
Can you name the two teams in the SWAC that have not won a championship this century?
Probably Valley and Pine Bluff.
Texas Southern, right?
No, don't forget Pine Bluff beat Jackson State back in 20.
They sure did.
2012, I believe.
Texas Southern, right?
No, this century. You are correct, Keisha, with one of them. Valley has not won one.
You sound like Prairie View, the other one.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Bethune-Cookman.
Bethune, really?
Yes. The only two teams in the
now,
SWAC.
see, they took Johnny Cole's SWAC championship away, and the last time Texas Southern won was 69.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, look, I think the SWAC West is going to be very interesting. You got some new interesting figures out there. Coach Jackson, of course, you got Coach Dishman, who seems very confident in his crew, especially, look, now he's bringing back KJ Cooper, and we can keep KJ Cooper healthy. That's going to put a lot of pressure on some of those teams.
I have a question in the East, but go ahead. You can continue with the West, but I have a question in the East.
Go ahead.
Have we heard, I think we were talking about this the other day, have we heard anything about, God, why is everybody's name escaping me? That was quarterback at Texas Southern.
Andrew
Body. Spoke to Andrew last week.
He's back for Alabama State, but they have a transfer quarterback also in that's that they're competing for the QB1 spot. But healthy Andrew Body. Forget Andrew Body, a healthy quarterback for Alabama State, period. Going through 5 of them last year is going to make Alabama State a respectable team that could compete for the title.
Look, when Andrew was on the program and he was promoting his youth camp that's going on this weekend, but Andrew said he's healthy, but he's still rehabbing. Okay. So I don't know if we're going to have a fully healthy Andrew Body in 30 days, guys. You know, 60 days, possibly. 30 days, I don't know. But Andrew seems pretty confident. It feels good that he's returned to the gridiron. He didn't talk much about his passing because that was a major repair that they had to go back in. Because that anchor kind of came out and they didn't fully anchor that shoulder properly. So that's the only reason why they went back in to do the surgery. So, but Andrew, man, like you said, if you get Andrew, you still have a dangerous person on the field. And you have the most senior quarterback other than Morgan in the SWAC. Think about that.
Well, maybe Andrew won't be up to par when he plays Southern. You know, maybe he'll still be down a little bit. Maybe he'll still be down a little bit.
He may not be able to throw, but he can still run.
Maybe he'll, maybe maybe he won't be up to par when they come to the bluff. You know, maybe he'll still be down.
Right? Okay, we shall see. All right, guys. It's been great to have you guys on, but we had to add this in, AD, and you were, I don't know what you were doing in this segment here with Black College Sports Network with Coach Chinnisberry there. Listen to this one.
Yeah, for the Bulldogs. Man, listen, let me tell you something. South Carolina State University, Bulldog Nation. I don't care where we are, whether we're at home, in the doghouse, Oliver C. Dawson Stadium, or whether we're on the road. That's right. Bulldog Nation loves the dogs. So at the end of the day, I'm grateful to be the head football coach of the place that loves football and expects you to win. So, oh man, when we go out there and Willie Jeffries Field, man, let me tell you something, man.
He's here.
Listen, man. What a great environment.
We was talking about the shoe game.
He's like, get the shoes.
Yeah, I was telling my cameraman, and I didn't realize we was in the wide shot because we didn't have the monitor back there. Like, I'm like, get them shoes. Get the shoes. Get the shoes, because you know we had some coaches who had
crazy. Look how they looking. Even they know he crazy.
Yeah, we had some coaches that had the kicks on. Had some a good sneaker game.
Last week it was Coach Jackson. Coach Jackson came in with the shoes on. Coach really had on the boots. Yeah, Coach really had on boots.
Coach Dishman had on boots too.
Yeah,
Texas boots on.
Boots.
Yeah.
So you know, just trying to bring some fun, just trying to bring something else to the media day. And speaking of, I've got to throw this out. And Keisha, I do got 2 more minutes now. Why is everybody on Southern about their dress from the SWAC?
What was wrong with their dressing?
I'm not gonna say everybody, but there's somebody out there who's who put out a said Southern was the worst dressed team at the SWAC media day.
Hold on, I thought Givens looked very presentable. Coach looked very presentable.
I didn't find anything wrong with him. Everybody don't have to dress alike to represent our university, which Southern was one of the teams where everybody did not dress alike.
So they weren't coordinated? Is that it?
Yeah. To quote your best John Witherspoon, one coordinated.
You gotta coordinate.
And I've even seen posts today about Delaware State. Like, we didn't know that MEAC Media Day was business casual and not business professional.
Do you guys actually believe that Deshaun Jackson is not going to be Deshaun Jackson?
And that's my point.
He's going to wear what he wants to wear and do what he wants to do, and he's always been that way.
If he was there in a t-shirt with about 10 gold chains, I might have said something. But he was there. Delaware State
down. He had his hair back, right?
Shirt. He had on a white shirt. The players had on, I believe the players had on red. You know, so he could distinguish himself, which is just like you see on the sideline where the coach wears contrast to what his players wear. But they were all in team issue gear.
Right.
Are we focusing on the wrong thing, everybody?
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about but we want these kids to be individuals. You know, 10 years ago, Kyle, everybody was focused on the hair. You let that kid come with dreadlocks, and then back in the day when we was in school, Kyle, you let that kid come with a curl and all that stuff. Are we focusing on the wrong things with this stuff? Do we have to have that much clickbait, everybody?
I do. I think the thing is that everybody's trying to find that, like you said, the clickbait. They're trying to find that one thing. And I always say
sensationalize it, right?
Yes. And it's like, what works for me is not going to work for y'all. Like, y'all notice I'm always with the, can I play football? Because y'all know I'm little and I can't play football for nobody's team. That's just my thing. I know I'm small. Cal, you better not laugh. So everybody has to find that one thing. Cal, what's funny?
I'm just looking at a photo. I'm just trying to find a photo. That's all.
See, no. Final Four. You know what? You better not pull up that photo with me and Coach Oliver.
Oh, that's a good photo. Yeah. Let me try to find that one.
So seriously.
Trey Oliver, 6'4", 6'5".
He's still kneeling down. He was taller than her.
I did not expect him to do that. But then I know Coach Oliver. Coach Oliver gonna do what Coach Oliver gonna do.
Exactly.
And that's it. But seriously. And so I much to your point, it's like the clickbait, like people are trying to find things. And even at Media Day, some of the things that I have done on my show, I started hearing them at Media Day. And I'm just like, okay, so this is what like people are doing now. They see what you've done, and it's like you're actually doing the same thing. So it's like I kind of get away from certain things, but what works for me is not going to work for Drew. What works for Drew is not going to work for Kyle. So it's like everybody has their thing. And I remember a couple of years ago, I don't know if y'all remember when that was when Prime was still there. That might have been their second Media Day. And I remember when his son, y'all forgot the name, Shador, I think he had like the rhinestones or something on his shoes. And I think like everybody made a big deal about that because I know Shador started talking about his shoes and stuff. So everybody made a big deal about the drip and all of that, which I was going to bring that segment in. But as you can see, they, what's it called? Why you got to bring that? Look at, y'all see Willie taunting me. That's the problem. Willie is a problem. And Coach Graves know that Willie is a problem. We had this conversation. Willie was telling him to get level. That's what he was saying. Get down to her playing level. And that's why he got down like that. It's an awful coach. Just awful. It's an awful SID. Just awful. I didn't really expect him to do that. It was funny. But I think even with the red carpet, yeah, see, he looked like he's just going to a team practice to me.
Well, I think right now, guys,
but
and again, you forget Deshaun Jackson is a free spirit.
Mm-hmm.
He's always been that way as a player.
How old is he?
He's always been productive. And
how old is he? He's supposed to be young. Yeah, like suit and tie ain't gonna work for everybody. That ain't. I mean,
maybe 40.
Oh, that ain't young.
Maybe I say maybe. No, because he's behind. He was behind Vic. He was young when Vic got to Philly. He might be in late 30s.
He's 38.
Oh yeah. See, he dressed like a 38-year-old. He ain't be having on no full suit and tie.
He's probably never wore a suit and tie in his life.
Y'all ain't gonna wear no suit.
No, he's been in a suit before. I've seen him in a suit before. So, but that's just Deshaun Jackson, guys. Before we get off, Southern University has banned their Omega Psi Phi chapter. And for me, it's kind of sad because my dad pledged that chapter back in 1954.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, but we know the reasons why, and prayers still to Caleb Wilson's family because they have to still endure the pain of not having him the rest of their lives, so and another loss we had was Malcolm Jamal Warner, who passed away due to an accidental drowning in Costa Rica with his family there. And more details have come out about that. My cousin Tiffany Boyle of Emerge magazine did his final interview last week.
Wow.
Has it been released?
Yeah, clips have been released. You can find that on HBCU Legends. I'll put one of those clips in the article I had on Malcolm Jamal Warner. What was so, I guess, kind of emotional for me was the fact I was playing the clip of him the day before he passed away, and I was about to ask Tiffany, how can I get in touch with him because I like to interview?
Is only he had the little flower in his hair, or he said something about found a reason to smile or something like that?
No. That was his own Instagram.
Gotcha. Okay.
This was an actual interview she
Gotcha.
did on her podcast. So
okay, gotcha.
So anyway, long story short, what I was going to tell everybody under the sound of my voice right now, when you want to do something, if you want to tell somebody, I'm sorry, I love you, forgive them, or whatever it is, you don't know when your time or their time or what time is going to be for them that the Lord is going to call you home, do it. You want to interview somebody, you are a future podcaster or a content creator, ask. All the people can say is no, right? Do what you want to do as where you want to do it, because nothing under this sun is planned. Only one who has the master to all the keys is the master himself. Okay? That's just my point of view. Don't like it, I understand, but I'm just saying, grasp your situation while you can, when you can. Okay? All right. Any last thoughts, Keish, Drew?
Man, we are 1 month and 1 day away from
kickoff.
MEAC Swag Challenge, Atlanta, Georgia. Go to MEACSwagChallenge.com if you have not purchased your tickets for the number 1 rated game, not HBCU football, of football on opening day.
Okay.
Highest rated game on American soil will occur at Center Park Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia.
And can Keisha get in?
She hit that credential button. She can.
So yeah, I'm gonna get in there regardless. I'm coming with my alums. I'm coming with a coach. I'm coming with somebody. I'm not thinking about what Drew got to say. I truly don't. Yeah,
link is
are.
open.
I didn't even. It is.
Yes.
Somebody asked me about that. But literally, I didn't realize until you said that we are literally a month and a day away, and we're about to be just a month here shortly. But we are literally ready for kickoff, and I think it's going to be the telltale of how the season goes. For both teams, it's going to be a tough one. I think it's going to be a tough one. I don't think it's going to be a flat out one school know they're going to win. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good matchup for both schools. 2 great coaches, but you know, when it all comes down to it, when the lights go out, it's go Jags. It's absolutely go Jags. Yeah, it's absolutely Southern University. Sorry, it's absolutely Southern University.
Let's think about this when it comes to this year's Cricket MEAC Swag Challenge kickoff. This realistically could be a preview of the Celebration Bowl. And I'm going to leave you with this note, Kyle. Why do I say that?
Why you not going to leave a note with me too?
Because Kyle was looking at me. I can't see you. Because your camera is messed up. But I'm going to leave this note with you too, Keisha. And you were there, Keisha, when he said this. I'm just regurgitating information. North Carolina Central was 1 game away from the Celebration Bowl last year.
You right.
Sure were.
Southern University.
1 game away
from
the Celebration Bowl last year. How ironic that these 2 teams opened the season up in Atlanta, what they realistically could have been to close the season last year. Is this a preview of what we will see the second Saturday in December? Time will tell.
Well,
what's the slogan?
It starts in Atlanta and ends in
Atlanta.
Starts in Atlanta, ends in Atlanta. Well, and you can't argue with that. You can't argue with that at all, guys. Hold on 1 quick second. Drew, tell everybody one more time if you are part of the media, you would like to participate in this event, how they can be able to get credentials again.
Be it you're a member of the media, or be it you're a fan and you want to purchase your tickets, or there may be a suite or 2 still available. Don't quote me on that. But go to MEAC Swag. Go to MEAC Swag HBCUchallenge.com to get more information on purchasing your tickets or media people. Please click on the media link and apply. Don't try to apply if you're not a member of media. I'm telling you now. I'm warning you. You will get rejected. Quicker than no, let me be quiet. But
please.
Okay. All right.
Quicker than I used to do when I was used to ask girls out for dates in college. Anyway.
Okay. All right.
But
Listen
no,
up to this.
Yes. But seriously, go to MEACSwagChallenge.com. You wrong for this guy. To get
Go
that,
ahead.
you can also follow them on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for updates. A lot of content will be coming out over the next couple of weeks. So it's always been a pleasure being here with you and Keisha, Kyle, and as they say, long time listener, first time caller.
All right. And guys, listen to this, just a clip of Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Right. But you got to get up and go because you're a professional. So you get up and you go to work. So for me, oftentimes, going to work, oftentimes it's that uniform. I could be having a jacked up day. And again, if my day is, if I'm in such a place where I am really not trying to be around people, then I know it's best for me to stay inside. Right? Because I'm very mindful of the energy that I give off. I'm very mindful of, meeting me is. I always like meeting me to be an experience, and I don't want that to sound funny, but when you get to a point where just saying hi to someone like brightens someone's day, right? Just smiling at someone and you see how that affects someone, well, that's an experience. And I don't want my disposition to impede that experience. So if I'm really not checking for anybody and I don't want to smile at nobody, then I stay home.
Right.
Right.
All right. It's Malcolm Jamal Warner's last interview, official interview that he had before he went on vacation. Keish, tell everybody how they can find you on the Black College Experience.
So I am, of course, Black College Experience all across the board. That's Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I'm Black College EXP actually on Twitter, but that's how you can find me across the market, just Black College Experience.
All right. I'm Kyle T. Mosley, HBCU Legends. You can find me at HBCU Legends on all social media platforms, as well as KTMOZE on all social media platforms as well. Drew, thank you so much. If you guys need to hit him up, you can find him every week with Dr. Cavill, as well as on the Black College Sports Network with Brian Fulford. And you guys have a great show every Sunday, right?
Yes, sir. Sunday, 6 o'clock Eastern.
All right, good. And Keisha, I think we love her so much. We just we put her in the dark today. She put her in the timeout room so she can't come out. So but we're gonna let her out. We're gonna let her out in a few weeks. We're gonna have her back.
Drew gonna be mad that I'm the first person applying for my media credential. I'm gonna be the first person. He shouldn't have told me, and I'm not gonna tell anybody else. But let Drew do his job.
Drew still didn't send me the Morehouse one, but anyway,
we're gonna talk about that offline.
This is why Kyle, how many games Morehouse gonna win? I'm gonna ask everybody this question before it's over.
Let's kill this podcast, Kyle. We're not gonna answer that in public.
No, Keish.
Keisha been keeping up mess ever since the SIAC Media Day, so we're gonna go.
All that stuff she be talking against Morehouse, she'd be right there with Morehouse. So
listen, that's since 2017, 2018. Literally been riding with Morehouse.
Got you.
Been riding since Coach Free. They've been riding with Morehouse.
You sure have been. All right, guys, let's have a great week. And I'm Kyle T. Mosley, Keisha Kelly, Jay Kelly, I should say, and that's Mr. AD Drew. And you guys have a great one. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you both for being here tonight. Take care.
Good night.
Bye.
Travel light, everybody.